NBA Straya, how are you going? How are you going? I hope you're all right. You should be. Why is that, Jim? It's hump day. Wednesday, November 20, all day. And the cool thing is it was another NBA Cup day. How good are these? I love this. I'm all for it. It is the best fun. Anyway, this is NBA Straya. I am your host, James Clements. You can see my ugly mug on the panel, the official NBL Supercoach show, the AFL Today show, and of course, NFL Straya. Solo Jimmy pod this week. Tell you what, ever heard a dude yell for 50 minutes straight about the NFL? Yes, once. It's pretty wild. Because I do it all the time with the NBA. It's easy. NFL, I'm not used to this. This is bizarre. Anyway, here in the fancy studio, the James Clements Excellence in Podcasting Memorial Studio, aka the Sports Today studio, we're talking Joel Embiid drama. We're talking the Cavs' first loss of the season and the NBA Cup games today. And how much of a worry there is around some of these teams. I'll tell you what, there's a little bit. So we'll do the game wraps. We'll do That's Not a Knife, Old Mate, No Mate, Spud of the Night, Better Than Lonzo Ball. We'll get some quick yeah-nahs, an unpopular opinion of the day, and an Outback Takehouse, quick Australian player look, watch, I guess, and an Andrew Gay's Grey Mummer Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Excellence, as well as a pick and preview for the games tomorrow. There's a couple of crackers where you're like, why was this not an NBA Cup game? It's like, oh, well, they're not in the same group. But anyway, it's all good. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Episode 1158 of NBA Straya. Let's go. Oh, he ate. Oh, yeah.
This is Josh Giddey.
G'day, this is Andrew Gay.
This is Jack White.
This is Joe Ingles.
This is Darcy Daniels.
This is Chris Anstey.
This is Matthew Delvedova.
This is Shane Hill.
Hi, this is Ryan Brockhoff.
This is Mitch Creek. This is Mick Kay.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening and watching NBA Straya.
This is NBA Australia. Let's do it.
Watch out for the Shaq Attack.
Well, you better, I'll tell you what. Especially if you're ESPN. I very much enjoyed the inside of the NBA laughing about what they'd be doing on ESPN next year. No, you ain't going to work me like a dog. I love it. I can't wait. This is going to be really fun. But either way, you should also watch out for the Shaq Attack if you're my insides. I have reports back from the United States of America that I do have an incoming shipment of Shaq-alicious XL gummies. So if you never hear from me again, it's because I died the way I lived, eating Shaq-alicious XL gummies. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. Anyway, let's start today's show the way we start every show here at NBA Show with a daily to whip around. Hey, players only meetings are really good, aren't they? I mean, it's always a sign of a really good together franchise. Oh, wait, no, it's not. Oh, God. Hey, the Sixers had a players only meeting after they got their heads kicked in by the Heat. Big Buddha Kyle Lowry was like, oh, I didn't get a bloody tribute video from the Heat. Now I'm going to take it out on my Sixers teammates. I'm sad. But anyway, it was more about basically everyone dumping on Joel Embiid, which is kind of fun. So Tyrese Maxey's like, hey, Joel, you always like this stuff. Can you not do that? Everyone hates it. And Joel Embiid's like, who are you? Maybe. I don't know. But it was a fascinating insight to the workings of just a horrible team at this point. So Maxey apparently challenged Embiid to be on time to team activities, which means absolutely fucking no one else is holding him accountable, which is obviously great. And apparently he's late for everything, and it impacts the locker room. A person involved in the meeting, definitely Nick Nurse. Tyrese loves big fella, but this is the elephant in the room. Actually, that's probably Big Booty Kyle Lowry, like just calling him big fella. Yeah. Anyway, players told Sixers coach Nick Nurse that they want to be coached harder. Harder, coach, harder. And the coaches, in turn, said they want the players to practice with purpose and attention to detail. So, coaches harder, then fucking pay attention. That's what they're saying. I love this. This is great. The wheels are off in Philly. It's going to be unreal. And then I love this. Embiid accepted the messages sent in the meeting, sources said. But he stated that he's sometimes confused about what the Sixers are attempting to do on the court. It's because you're not paying attention, Joel. It's like, sir, how does this maths work? Were you listening while I was teaching it to you? No. How is that the fucking teacher's fault? He's not paying attention in team meetings and he's like, I'm confused about what's going on. It's like, no shit, Sherlock. What are you on about? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. How is Paul George is sitting going, what the fuck have I done? Oh, I couldn't believe that this is worse than the Clippers. It's amazing. I love it. I'm stoked. And I think we mentioned in the power rankings this week that the 2016-17 process Sixers actually started better with like rookie Joel Embiid, Dario the Homie Saric, Robert Bob Covington, whichever Henderson, which Henderson? Well, I can't even remember which Henderson that was, and Sergio Rodriguez as their starting five. They started better than this Sixers team. Philly's fucked. Like, it's hilarious. Sucked in. Anyway, they went 3-10 in their first 13 games. Embiid missed 4 of them. The Sixers are now currently 2 of 11, and Embiid's missed a bunch of the games as well. They're just shit. Sucked in. Anyway, Luka came back today. A little bit of other news. Paolo Banchero, he told Inside the NBA that he reckons he'll be back by Christmas. That's thumbs up from me. Love me some Paolo. And we got no more Jokic again against the Grizzlies today for Denver. I reckon they've just basically gone, all right, you having another kid? And he's like, yes, it's definitely not me buying horse as well. Which he's 100% done. But anyway, he's like having another kid. It's his second. And they're like, just take the week off. And he's like, okay, it's no problem. You sure? It's the second kid. Like, you can work around, it's all right. As long as everyone's healthy, it's all that matters, right? All right, let's do some game wraps from today's NBA Cup action. This was fun as hell. We had Cleveland take on Boston in Boston. This game delivered, I'll tell you that much. It came right down to the wire, 117-120. Boston eke out the win after absolutely kicking their heads in the second quarter. Darius Garland had an absolute horror show of a game, missed 9 straight shots at one point through the second quarter. And Boston were up by like 21. And then the Cavs came flying back and Boston completely just fell apart. But then held on down the stretch thanks to, Peyton Pritchard, which was nuts. It was awesome. It was a, 40-point third quarter for the Cavs. And that worked really, really well because it got them back into the game. It was gnarly how it actually happened as well. It was like Ty Jerome, Mobley, George Niang, the minivan, a.k.a. what do they call him? The G... What's that bloody Mercedes? The G van? Some shit? G-mobile? The G-spot? I don't know, man. I don't know where to find any of these things. So basically, it's like George Niang crushing it, and they get right back into the game. My favorite one was that Craig Porter Jr. was absolutely smashing everything, and he was really important late as well. But they get it all the way back to 88, 86 at the end of the third quarter, and it was massive. And it's still like a 3-point game all the way through the fourth quarter. They're just going back and forth. Boston's defense is just trying absolutely as hard as they can to stop Donnie Mitchell. And Donnie Mitchell's like, you can try, but I'm also really good. Check this out. And then Boston's offense, Cleveland just couldn't quite get enough stops in a row to get in front. And this is a big thing on NBA Straya, right? You expend that much energy trying to get back into the fucking game that it's really hard to actually get either tied or in front. And just when you're playing from ahead, it just makes it that much easier, right? And so I think it was 102-100 after the Craig Porter 3, and you're like, let's go. This is awesome. But then Boston just rip off a sick drive from Tatum, and then Peyton Pritchard hits a 3. And they basically sort of just eke it out from there despite a couple of wobbly little bits at the end. And I'd very much like to thank the Cavs for covering the +6 line. They did a great job with that. If you've been watching the NBA Straya morning drop-off picks, nailed that one today. It was a good one. Anyway, it was an awesome game. So, as I said in the drop-off picks, it's the defense of the Cavs versus this Boston offense. How's that going to work out, right? Not great for Cleveland, it turns out, for the vast majority of that game. But then it sort of clicked, and they just, they found their offense. And when you don't have my sweet baby Karis LeVert, and you kind of, just playing that one man short, if you're Cleveland, it feels like, it does feel like they are that sort of extra bigger bodied wing, and that is my sweet baby Karis LeVert. And so they're starting Sam Merrill. They've got Ty Jerome and George Niang and Craig Porter coming off the bench. So they don't have Isaac Okoro, who you feel like defensively, you can sort of throw him at a Jaylen Brown or a Tatum and just go, can you just ruin their shit for like a little bit? And he's like, you got it, boss. And you're like, yes, I fucking love you, Isaac Okoro. If you could score, that'd be handy. Anyway, and Karras was out as well. So it feels a little bit shorthanded for the Cavs. They put up a really good fight. I'm here for it. 35 for Donnie Mitchell. Darius Garland had a Barry Crocker shocker. 3 of 21. He's going to pop up again in a second, just saying. Mobley at 22, 11, and 6. Allen had 11 and 10, but their bench was handy. It was like 11 for George Niang, the minivan. Ty Jerome had 10. Craig Porter Jr. had the 15, 3 and 3. But the Celtics, the key with it was they just hit all their threes. Like all of them. They went 22 of 41. I'm no math magician, but that's pretty bloody good. Tatum had 33, 12, and 7 with a couple of steals. He hit 6 of his 10 threes. Above average, Al Horford hit 4 of 5 from downtown. He had a 20 and 7 game with 3 blocks, which is ridiculous. He's older than the sun, and he's getting 3 blocks. Anyway, 17 on 17 shots for Jaylen Brown. He had a bit of a whiffy one, but D. White was really good, 19, 6 and 5 with 4 threes. Giroux was very, very good, 11, 5 and 4. Oh, geez, not great stats, Jim. He was really good, trust me. There's a reason Garland's life was fucking ruined today. And Pritchard had 13 as well. Cleveland, they dropped to 15 and 1 now. The dream is over. But still, 15 and 0 is a bloody good start to the season. And the Celtics are 12 and 3. Charlotte lost in Brooklyn, 116, 115. Oh, geez, you'd hate to have bet Brooklyn -3. And then a meaningless 2-pointer at the end from Charlotte makes it a 1-point game. God damn it. Anyway, this was a really weird game. You had Benny Simmons versus Josh Green on the Aussie front. But it turns into Ben Simmons versus Brandon Miller because Brandon Miller was talking some shit after Ben Simmons did a dunk. And I can assume that Brandon Miller was like, fuck, I didn't realize you could still do that, Benny. And he's like, oh, fuck you. Had a crack. Thing is, this was the Trendon Watford game for me for Brooklyn. They had no Cam Thomas. Cam Johnson went off, but Trendon Watford scored like 7 points at the end out of fucking nowhere. Basically saved the game for Brooklyn. It was massive. It was like 116, 111, all because of him. And obviously they hold on despite Charlotte scoring those last 4 points. Hornets went 20 of 37 from 3. Miller had 29. LaMelo had a shit one. He went 12 points on 3 of 13 shooting. Bit of Ben Simmons lock up there. A couple of the other sort of defensive dudes, Schroeder, like ruined his shit too. Bridges had 21. Trey Mann had a pretty bloody good game too, including a sick dunk. We'll talk about that. Nets went 18 of 41 from 3. So it was a lot of threes. They hit a lot of them. 50% from the floor. Cam Johnson, 34 points. He went 6 of 12 from 3. He was awesome. Jalen Wilson had 17. Dorian Finney-Smith had 15. Build up that trade value, Dorian. And 14 and 12 for Dennis Schroeder. I am German Rondo. And Ben Simmons actually scored, wait for it, you ready? In double figures for the first time this season. Is he back? Is Box Hill Benny back? That's the big question in this one. Maybe that should be the title of this show. Is Box Hill Benny back? Well, sure. If 10 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists is back in 26 minutes, he was good. He looked aggressive. He also had a complete airball of a hook shot, but still. And just checking, yeah, that was his first game all season in double digits of scoring. But this is it. We just need the ramp up. This is like the beginning of like the comeback DVD. Do people buy DVDs? The fuck's a DVD? Ask everybody. My kid, I think we got him a DVD. He's like, what's that? It's like, oh, fuck. Jeez, there we go. It's something you can put on Dad's PlayStation. And you can watch like 5 back-to-back Paw Patrols. He's like, what? I'll just watch it on 10 play. I'm like, yeah. Anyway, Charlotte dropped to 5 and 9. Brooklyn are 6 and 9. Nice. Denver took care of Memphis 122-110. Good win for Denver. So I watched a bunch of this. No Jokic, and they put up a big fight. Rusty had a triple-double, his 200th, which is awesome. Big 3 from Saric at the end really sort of sealed this one. Brutal game, though. 22 turnovers for the Grizz, like 18 for the Nugs. MPJ and Jamal were too much for the Grizz. Just Santi Aldama had like an awesome game. He had 28. He had 10, was it 18 and 10 or something? Was it 10? Oh, geez. What did Triple J have? He didn't have a absolutely awesome one, but he wasn't horrible. He had 19 and 8 with 5 blocks. Triple J causing all sorts of havoc, like it's bloody 1995. And 16, 6 and 6 for Scottie Pippen Jr., but the Nugs had 24 and 10 for Michael Porter Jr. without him hitting any threes. And you're like, oh, That's good. And Jamal, 27, 4, and 6. Took a bit of the, and this is why I picked Denver yesterday. It's like, Memphis will try. They will put up a big fight, but Jamal Murray just will be burned from a couple of shit performances. He'll come out and tear it up, and he did. 15 and 5 for Peyton Watson as well. And Rusty, as mentioned, there's 12, 10, and 14. He's 200 triple-double. Memphis dropped to 8 and 7, and the Nuggets are up to 8 and 5. It's pretty good. After a horrible run without Jokic, they needed that one. Speaking of horrible, the New Orleans Pelicans got absolutely straight killed by Dallas, 132-91. This was an NBA Cup smashing. Like, it was weird, and it was very Jason Kidd at the end. It's like, oh, Jason, you know it's the NBA Cup and point differential matters. And he's like, well, we're 1-1, and we're already up by like 41 points. And it's like, yes, but you could be up by more if you keep scoring. He's like, no, we'll dribble it out. It's like, if the fucking Mavs miss out because of like 2 points on point differential, I'm going to be the fucking dude you will not let shut up ever. It's going to be the funniest thing in the fucking world. It's still, like, because they are still a good shot to get out of the group stages, right? Because now with such a whomping on their ledger, as long as they win out, they've already lost to the Warriors of the Mavs, so the Warriors have already got the leg up in the group stages, but still. Ingram had 17, 5 and 4. Trey Murphy, 19. Nothing else for the Pels. They got fucking stomped. 52% shooting from the Mavs, 45% from 3. Luka had 26, 5 and 5. Kyrie was good. He had the 18 and 7. Clay hit 5 threes. He had 19. Najee Marshall had 15. He missed his first free throw for the year today. It was a bit brutal. Anyway, New Orleans, they stink. They're 4 and 11. Mavs are 8 and 7, I believe. Yeah, because they just went above 500 finally. OKC lost a barn burner in San Antonio without Wemby. That's right, the Spurs didn't have Wemby, and apparently it was absolutely no bloody problems because they just stomped them, 110-104. This was a bizarre thing at the end of this where it was like a 6-point game and you had 2 minutes left, and then they just traded threes for the next 4 possessions. Like Chris Paul hit a stupid 3 with the shot clock just running out. SGA answers, Spurs get a corner 3, and then the fucking Thunder get another 3 up the other end from Dort. You're like, we've just wasted a minute 20. It's still a 6-point game. And then it just got stupid at the end with, tie-ups and all this sort of shit, and then the Thunder could just not buy a shot. So they end up losing it, and that's not great. Like, oh, we don't need a center. It's like, well, you might not need a center, and you sort of like, I think they won the rebounding battle against the Spurs in the end by 1. But that was also because they missed so many fucking shots. Like there was a bunch of offensive rebounds. They ended up with 13 offensive rebounds because they went 41 of 100. I'm no math magician, but I'm pretty sure that's 41%. Is that right, producer Gerald? Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah. Meanwhile, 39 of 83 for the Spurs. So you've taken 17 more shots and you lose by 6. It's not so much about the rebounding for OKC. It's just that you can't buy a fucking bucket. Caruso goes 1 of 7, 1 of 8 for Adam Flagler. Sure. 2 of 12 for Dort. He had a horrible one. Wiggins goes 4 of 10. Yeah, like basically SGA had 32, and he got 27, 10, 6 and 5 from J-Dub, and everybody else was shit. Not great. Not great for OKC. It's like, oh, we've got lots of depth. We've got lots of depth. Depth doesn't matter if you can't hit a fucking shot, right? And here we are. Anyway, Spurs were incredible because it was like Keldon Johnson had 22. They rip off 20 from Black Falcon, Harrison Barnes, and Chris Paul turns back the fucking time clock. 14-point time clock. What other sort of clock is there? Anyway, 14 and 11 assists. He crushed it. 4 of 7 from 3. Love that. Zachy Collins had 12 and 7 with a steal and a block. Couldn't quite get to my 15 and bloody 8, could you, Zach? Killing me. Anyway, great win for the Spurs because they're now 7 and 8. The Thunder dropped to 11 and 4, and here we are. Great job, Spurs. To win a game without Wemby is just, they needed to do it. We talked about this on yesterday's show. I expected OKC to smash them even if they had Wemby. I'm like, Wemby could drop 50 and OKC could still win this. They didn't have Wemby, and they fucking won. So how wrong was I? The answer is very. Anyway, and then finally, the Lakers are currently kicking the crap out of the Jazz. If the Jazz come back and win this one, good on them. But at the moment, they're down by like 21. So, and there's like half a quarter left. So we'll put that one in the bag. We'll go. The Lakers are now 10 and 4. The Jazz are 3-11. Woo! We missed this one yesterday. Let's play the drop. Where is it? Come on. Yes. Thank you to Utah. Yes. Chill. Yes. Can't wait for that. 2 weeks. Going to take producer Gerald to go see 311. He'll be like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, it's like awesome vibes, bro. He's like, I hate you, Jim. Anyway, the Yaz, look, I picked them to cover this one and just they couldn't hit a shot early on. They got curb stomped. Lakers ran right over the top of them and just kept it at arm's length the rest of the way. They had like a 40-31 third quarter and just killed them. So AD was crushing it at this point. He's got 22 and 14 and 5. LeBron with 21 and 11 assists. 37 for the rookie, Dalton Connect. It was flying around causing all sorts of havoc. He's going to be today's Better Than Lonzo Ball. # spoiler alert. All right, speaking of which, let's do an NBA Straya approved performance of the night.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Jason Tatum was massive in that Boston game. He was so good against the Cavs. And you're like, oh, well, it makes sense. They don't really have a great matchup for him. 33, 12, and 7 with a couple of steals. Cam Johnson gets Brooklyn the win as well. 34, 5, and 4. Very nice. Chris Paul deserves that mention for the 14 and 11. Geez, Jim, 14, 11. Yeah, but he saved their ass at the exact moment they needed it, and they got a win because of it, which is, I don't know, pretty important in the end. And that's about it. But I'm going to get to Dalton Connect in a second, but he was bloody incredible. So good stuff. How about Spud of the night? Spud, 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 it is Spud of the night. Spud of the night. Darius Rucker, Judy Garland, 3 at 21. What are you doing, Darius? Yeesh, let her cry. That's Darius Rucker, isn't it? From, yeah, nailed it. Google it. I'm old. Dort was what, 2 of 12? He was absolutely horrible. He was 1 of 11, then hit a shot. I love that you get to 1 of 11, you're like, yeah, I'm going to hit this one. And he did. Desmond Boone went 1 of 10, and LaMelo 3 of 13. But of course, thank you very much to Donnie Mitchell on his threes and Jake LaRavia for shooting. Chill. That's right. They went and shot 3-11. Oh, you beauty. All right. Ben Simmons made field goals versus fouls tracker. We'll get into that one tomorrow. Just saying, still very, 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 very funny. All right, what about old mates? Bit of no mates?
Old mate, no mate.
Old mate, no mate.
Old mate, no
Old
mate.
mate, no mate.
Old mate, no mate.
Old mate, no mate.
Old mate, no mates.
Who's got no mates today? It might be the guy who gets called the elephant in the room. Bro, that's Joel Embiid. When everybody is in a fucking team meeting and go, hey, you fat, lazy fuck, can you do what we're all doing and pay attention? He's like, this is a personal attack. It's like, yes, it is a personal attack on you, Joel Embiid, because you're being shit and sucking. And he's like, I feel like we all really need to lift our It's like, no, you're being completely purposefully fucking targeted by your team. Like, because everybody's saying, hey, you lazy fuck, sort your shit out, and then leaking it straight away is like 100% just like them going, he's not fucking listening. We're going to leak this to the press and everyone's going to fucking just hassle him about it. This sends a fucking message. If this gets through, good, but fucking hell. Like, yeah, this is some definite old mate, no mates vibes, huh? I'll tell you that much. Oh, yeah. Who got pants today? Strawther blocked the hell out of Jacob LaRavia. Just met him at the top. But I mentioned Trey Mann. He absolutely... Oh, looking like Vince Carter. Oh, says the Charlotte announcer. Goes off his head. He, like Noah Clowney, props to him at least. He did try to take the block. And he's like standing there and Trey Mann just obliterated him. That's a pantsin'. Like when you just stand there, like... You don't even make the business decision. I do appreciate the Noah Clowney going, I'm going to stand here and take this. Oh, God, I'm going to get a penis to the face. Like, it's just, that's just tough. All right. Finally, better than Bronny James.
Lonzo was the best player in high school. He was the best player in college. You think he'll get to the pros and be like, I made it to the pros, now I can be average. He's coming for everybody.
Coming for everybody. So, it's going to be tough to be the other rookie on the Lakers, right? Not really when you're dropping bloody 37 points on the head of the bloody Yaz. Isn't that right? Dalton Connect. He looks so fucking good in that game. He copped like D'Lo. You know how much I hate D'Lo. D'Lo had a sick block on one end and then got the ball and threw a sick alley-oop to Dalton Connect. And it's like, that white boy can jump. Look at him go, Dalton Connect. He connected on that pass, you know what I'm saying? 37 and 5. He went 9 of 11. Bush did that. From 3. And 12 of 15 from the floor. That's absurd. Like, he's already smashed all of Lonzo Ball's career high. And, like, Bronny James is like, oh, but I thought I was the special boy rookie. And it's like, no, you're not, Bronny. I'm sorry. Let's do some yeah-nahs right after this.
This is Cam Glidden.
This is Anthony Drimmick.
This is Mitch McCarron.
This is Jason Kadee.
This is Daryl McDonald.
Hey guys, this is Hugh Greenwood.
Yo, what's going on? This is Ellie.
This is Mark Worthington, or commonly known as Wortho, and you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA
And you're listening to
Straya.
NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
All right, let's do some yeah-nahs. Just a couple of quick ones today. We had Statsman lob in with one. His point was, hey, Jim, can the Spurs make the playoffs? And I'm like, yeah, Statsman. No, they can't. I sort of looked at this at the start of the like, I mean, yeah, they're doing good, right? Oh, God, that Lakers Jazz game is down to 12 points. Of course it is. Oh, geez, Jim, do you want to tape early? Yeah, I reckon I can do that. Bloody hell. Anyway, they're 7 and 8, the Spurs. I did the standings check-in on yesterday's show, right? And the West is an absolute fucking bloodbath. Like, it's like carry. Like, it's just fucking a bloodbath. So, to the point where the Spurs are 7 and 8 and the 12 seed. 7 and 8 would get you in the top. It has you 5th in the fucking East right now. Like, that's so fucking hard. And I think the toughest part for the Spurs is, like, you can't really point to one massive thing. Like, they've got, like, the 4th worst offense in the West, and they've got, like, the 5th best defense, right? So the defense is there-ish. And overall, it's, like, pretty good, but it's just going to be so hard to climb and claw into the top of the West if, like, one of those things is not, like, balanced, right? And that's off, like, offensively. They're just not quite there. Maybe Wemby just turns, like, another corner and just, like, takes another fucking leap. But I just don't know if they can make the playoffs. We're only 15 games in, but still, not even a quarter of the way. It just feels like there's something lacking still in that game, on that team. Like, Stephon Castle's right there. Chris Paul's a weapon. But they just, I don't know. Maybe once Devin Vassell and Keldon Johnson are, like, back and fully acclimated, maybe. We might revisit that one from the stats, man, a little bit later. Am I starting to worry about OKC? Yeah, nah, yeah, a little. Like, the depth is fine, but Caruso's not been able to hit a shot all fucking season. They're still, like, 11 and 4, but they've lost 2 on the trot. It's just a bit weird, isn't it? It's like, oh, we don't have anyone taller than 6'7", it doesn't matter. But they aren't hitting threes either, which is kind of the weird part. So we know that SGA is not the world's greatest knockdown three-point shooter, but like the rest of them, you're kind of like Aaron Wiggins. Oh, God. Dort. Oh, geez. Okay. Isaiah Joe being in and out. Case and Wallace sort of here and there. Caruso, as mentioned, not hitting shit. It's just hard. So I'm starting to get a little bit worried. Like, but they should probably swing back and around. They probably just had a couple of games of really rough shooting, but just something to keep an eye on. And the Cavs, should they still feel okay about themselves? Yeah, nah. Yes. You went 15-0. They lose one game. It's like, I feel like we should pump the brakes. It's like, it's all over for the Cavs. It's like they're 15-1. It's absurd. They're fine. Unpopular opinion of the day. To go back, I mean, the Cavs didn't even have, like, their 2 best, like, wing dudes. Like, what are we doing here? So, yeah, just saying.
Now look at me, please. Look at me.
Unpopular opinion of the day. I was talking about this the other day. The best 5-man roster ever, according to Steph, was Shaq, Tim Duncan, LeBron, MJ, and Steph. And I was like, hang on a second. Who wins in a game between that 5 and a 5 consisting of Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant, Larry Bird, Charles Barkley, and Kareem? How good is that? In fact, you can make another 3 and it's pretty much just as good. The Big O, Oscar Robertson, Jerry West, Dr. J, Kevin Durant, and Wilt Chamberlain. Fucking A. Let's go. I just want... Is this something you can do in 2K? I just want to... not a 2K guy. I have 2 very small children. I don't even have time to scratch my nuts, let alone play basketball video games. I did play Tony Hawk, though, the other day. Again, fuck yes. How good is that? Anyway, how about the All-Aussie 5? Bogut, Jingles, Gaze, Hammer, and Paddy? Yeah, I don't know if they quite match up against those other ones, but either way. And then finally, a little bit of an Outback Takehouse for you. I can never remember where this button is. There it is. It's Wednesday at Outback, and you know what that means? Oh, yeah. Well, tell you what, the old diabetes blind dog managed to catch a possum in the backyard yesterday, so me and the squids put it right over the top of the barbie. Boom, slow roasted possum. Bloody delicious. Bit gamey, couple of bite marks, but bloody delicious, and it's only at Outback. And today's Flame Grill take is, I don't have to keep telling him, but bloody hell, I love the NBA Cup. But I'm an ideas man. Different balls. ABA balls, the fucking Mountain Dews, fucking bright green balls. Let's go. You get a choice as the home team of which ball you get to use as well. I love this. You can match your court. You can make it invisible against the court. Let's fucking do this. It's going to be gnarly. On top of that, it's so good, the NBA Cup, it should go to at least Christmas. And then it should go to at least Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Each year on year on year. We just keep extending it because it's so much fucking fun, right? And then it should go to the All-Star break. And then we'll just go through to the rest of the season like the fucking FA Cup. It just keeps going. And away we go. We just every so often, we go, oh yeah, it's one of the fucking NBA Cup games. It runs concurrently throughout the entire regular season. There's nothing there that goes, oh, we need to fucking stop it in December and play it in Vegas. Why? Entire season. Let's fucking do it. And then, I don't know, 2 weeks before the end of the season, we fucking pull the pin on it, and that's where you play it in Vegas. Simple. Come on. Again, Adam Silver, I'm right here. Low 6 figures, consultancy fees, vice president common fucking sense. Simple. All right. How about the Australian Player Watch? Ben Simmons, as I mentioned, in that win over Charlotte. So, they do get the win, which is very, very, very handy for Brooklyn. What did it end up being? 116-115. Ben Simmons has a pretty good game. The 10 points, first game in double digits. 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, and a block to go with 3 turnovers. Shot 5 of 7 from the floor. Not bad. He went up against his mate, Josh Green, who had 3 points. 1 of 4 from the floor, 1 of 3 from downtown. 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 turnovers. Also played 26 minutes. A bit of a tough one for Greeny. He got blocked, and you're like, oof, that was rough. Anyway, outside of that, we've got a did not play coach's decision for Luke Travers in the Boston game where they lose that 117-120, and Alex Dukas did not get out there either for the Oklahoma City Thunder. So a bit of a rough one. And as for Patty Mills for the Utah Jazz, he has not entered the game. There is 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. The Lakers have won that one, basically, so we're laughing. All right, Andrew Gay's Graham Mumber Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Excellence. Andrew Gay's Graham Mumber Award for Outstanding in the Field of Excellence. Let's do it. Teenage Mutant Jakob Poeltl just became the first NBA player since 1994, Shaq, a.k.a. one of the best Shaqs, to have a 3-game span with 90-plus points, 20-plus offensive rebounds, and 20-plus defensive rebounds while shooting 70% from the floor. It's pretty good. Just saying. Jesus. And also, we do now have the photo. Russell Westbrook holding up the piece of paper with 200 on it. He didn't score 200 points in a game, though he no doubt has tried to do that. It was his 200th triple-double today. It was awesome. No Jokic. He goes out, gets his 200 triple-double. Love that. Way to go, Rusty. You're a legend. I love Russell Westbrook. You know all that. Everybody who listens to this show knows that I love Rusty. Chaos engine. It's insane. He sucks, but I love him, right? It's easy. It's basically how my family look at me. That big ginger dickhead. Yeah, he sucks, but he's all right. Anyway, Great job, Rusty. We love you. All right, the Paddy Mills Game Day Baller Game Day Twitter check-in before we get into tomorrow's game previews. Let's do it. Actually, there was an Utah Jazz post of Paddy and his missus entering the thing. I'll see if I can find it so I can actually describe it. Oh, Dead Set Legend at Baller Pat. There he is. Someone posting a picture, and then him as well. Good to see his buddy, Bill MX. All right, sure. But the Yaz, there's just a really good post, I think, of him and the misso walking into stuff. That might have been on Twitter or something, because it's not on IGs. But either way, it was really good. So go look at that. I would run through a wall for Paddy Mills. Right, tomorrow we have 8 games. And today's picks, I think we've gone. We hit Dallas, we hit Denver, we hit Cleveland, and we're about to hit the Lakers. So what's that? 4 of 6. Is that right? Yes, I can count. Good job, Jim. Yeah, thanks. So 4 of 6 today. That's not bad. Because it looks like the Yaz are about to cover this one. So, all right, but we have tomorrow, we have New Orleans at Cleveland. Cleveland are 13.5-point favorites. New Orleans, both teams on a back-to-back. You have to go Cleveland here for the win. Can the Pelicans put up a fight? I'm going to say no. I think Cleveland curb stomp them. That poor Pelicans team sucks. The Cavs should still have enough offensive firepower to put up. It's a big line, and I don't like it on a back-to-back. But I like the Pelicans even less. They literally just lost by 41 points today to the bloody Mavs. Let's be serious. Chicago go to Milwaukee. Milwaukee to Algonquin for the good land. This is a great matchup. These two teams, no love lost here. No love lost here. Josh, big rivals. Oh, is that because they're close to each other? Yes, that's all it is. Chicago 8.5-point underdogs in Milwaukee. The way the Bucks have been playing, I don't care. I'm taking Chicago. Their defense is horrible. But Milwaukee just there's something off. It's just they stink off them. So I'm going to go Chicago plus 8.5. Indy go to Houston. This is a 6.5-point line as well. So that's 8.5 for Chicago, sorry. 6.5 for Indy. They're underdogs. Can I trust Indy? No, I can't. There's nothing I said this in the power rankings, I think. It's just Indy. It's is Halliburton going to be good? Yes. Okay, then we might win. If he's not good, we're just going to lose. 6.5 is very squirrely. I'm going to take Houston, though, just because I trust their defense. And they've got no big men to slow down Şengün. So let's go let's go Houston minus 6.5. Philly, they go to Memphis. The Grizzlies on a back-to-back. Philly just stinking up the joint after a team meeting. They have to win this, don't they? The Sixers have to. They are 2.5-point favorites in Memphis. I'm going to go Philly. Team meetings, hilarious vibes. They have to bounce back or we're just burning that place to the ground. It's over. Portland are 13.5-point underdogs in OKC. I'm going Portland. They play hard. They've actually got big dudes. Time Lord could have 40 rebounds tomorrow. OKC, how is OKC not traded for Duop? What are we doing here? Anyway, we're going Portland plus 13.5. Then we have New York in Phoenix. They are only 5.5-point favorites on the road, the Knicks, and I'm taking them in a heartbeat. That Suns team is bad. The defense of the Knicks to slow down Booker. If Brad Beal's playing, maybe throw something at him, but the Knicks should win this pretty handily. So I'm going the Knicks minus 5.5. Atlanta go to Golden State. They are 8.5-point underdogs, the Atlanta Hawks. They played the Kings very, very, very tough the other day. You know Dyson Daniels is going to try to clamp Steph Curry. Trae Young's probably going to try and match Steph Curry. Trae Young had a horrible game last game round. I think Atlanta keep this close. Bit of a weird one. They're not good. Don't get me wrong. They're not good. But if Jalen Johnson plays in this, Golden State should be better. 8.5 is just a little bit of a squirrely one. I'll take Atlanta. Orlando then take on the Clippers. I talked about Orlando on the road. They did beat Phoenix, but that Phoenix team is busted up. So the Clippers are 2.5-point underdogs at home against the Magic Men. I think the Clippers can do this. Let's go the Clippers plus 2.5. I don't like the Clippers. I love Orlando, but I feel like there's just going to be... Look, Anthony Black was awesome last game. I'm going to go the Clips plus 2.5. And there you go. All right. And that's it for today. Can you believe it? We smashed that. That was pretty good. We'll be back on deck tomorrow for a big Thursday show to wrap up all 8 of those games. So in the meantime, make sure you're following NBA Straya on Twitter, Facey IG, TikTok, and YouTube. All the good stuff there. Get around NFL Straya as well. Did the solo pod yesterday. That was a fun one, talking about all things NFL, setting you up for week 12. All the really fun things of this week. It was a chaos week, so I had a fun one. Go check that out. Get Around the Cricket Today podcast as well. The boys are back. We've got a massive, massive, massive first test coming up this week. The Football Today podcast as well for all your soccer needs. We've got AFLW today. It's the, prelims this week. Unreal. Grand final next week. And, of course, hold all tickets for your GGs. Check us a rating and review on your Apple Podcast, your Spotify, YouTube, your Apple, or your Android weird ones, whatever you use on your Android phones. Rate, review, star, subscribe. Come on, tell them, mate. Go on. Help a brother out. I don't ask for anything, ever, except for that. Go on. Big thanks always go to From Oslo for the intro and outro song, They Rule. So do Joshua Delarendis, Fascinating Gold Mines, Ramshackle Army, Iowa, Section A, Green, and Dozers. They're behind all the tunes you hear throughout the show. Smash them all at Bandcamp, Triple J and Earth, Facey, Apple Music, Spotify, however you listen to your tunes. Support Australian bands. NBA Straya does, so should you. And that's it. Fun one today. NBA Cup. How good is it? I love the NBA Cup. I'm like Rob Lowe wearing the NFL hat, but the NBA Cup hat. I just want one of those cup hats. Just like, NBA Cup. I'm like Homer with the TV sports flag. Just like, NBA Cup. Yay. Just fuck off the grey courts. You lazy cowards. I love that fucking insane, toxic ooze, yellow fucking Lakers one. That was insane. I love it. Let's get weird. Oh, we better make it grey. Fuck off, nerds. Give me sick ones. Even that Pelicans one last year. Anyway, whatever. We'll talk about that more tomorrow. Why not? All right, we'll see you then. You dickheads. This is NBA Straya saying, look after yourselves, would ya? And let us at night.